Petrol price hits 955 naira per litre as marketers NNPC raise prices. Also, Senate extends 2024 budget implementation to December 2025. President Tinubu rejects National Assembly Library Trust Fund bill. PDP leaders in closed-door meeting with INEC. INEC Chair Mahmoud Yakubu tells PDP what to do regarding issue of National Secretary. Also, concerning rift between Reno Omokri and Segun Sowunmi, Olisamitu confirms he recommended Segun Sowunmi to Reno Omokri. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. The World News at 6 begins with this very recent development where retail outlets under the nameplate of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited effected an upward adjustment in the price of petrol, also known for 945 naira per litre in the Federal Capital Territory just this Monday. They also adjusted their petrol price to 915 naira per litre at several of their Lagos retail outlets, marking a fresh upward shift in the downstream retail market. The latest increase marks a fresh spike of 45 naira and 35 naira in Lagos and Abuja, respectively, up from the previous prices of 870 naira and 910 naira per litre. Also, independent marketers effected an increase of 60 naira from 895 naira per litre to 915 naira per litre in Abuja, while in Lagos the cost ranged from 915 naira to 950 naira, depending on the station of the independent dealer. Prices hovered between 915 and 950 naira in Lagos, Ogun, and other parts of the southwest. Dangote's partners such as MRS, Hayden, AP, and others sold petrol at 925 naira per litre in Lagos and 935 naira in Ogun State. Observations made is that NNPC also jacked up its price yesterday, being Monday, selling a litre of petrol at 915 naira in Lagos. Filling stations said they were wary of the price volatility, disclosing they had to raise prices though the current stock was purchased before the price surge. The price adjustments comes just days after the Dangote Petroleum Refinery increased its ex-depot price of petrol from 825 naira to 880 naira per litre, sparking an industry-wide response. Now moving on to the Senate. The Senate today granted a fresh extension for the implementation of the capital component of the 2024 national budget, moving the deadline from June 30, 2025 to December 31, 2025. Well, VOP News gathered that this marks the second time the Red Chamber is extending the lifespan of the 2024 capital budget, citing the need to allow the federal government to complete ongoing infrastructure projects worldwide. In this very charisma, it also pretends that the decision followed the consideration and expeditious passage of an amended appropriation bill during plenary. The bill underwent its first, second, and third readings in one sitting and was adopted after deliberation by the Senate Committee on Supply. Deputy Senate President Badal Jibrin, who presided over Tuesday's session, formally announced the passage of the extension of the bill. Leading to the debate, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriations and representative of Ogun West Senatorial District, Senator Olamilekan Adiola, explained that the extension became necessary due to the government's limited financial capacity. He told lawmakers that several capital projects captured in the 2024 budget risked abandonment without additional time to access and utilize allocated funds. He urged his colleagues to support the measure to prevent wastage of public funds and stalled developments. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has refused to give his approval to the National Assembly Library Trust Fund Establishment Amendment Bill 2025, citing conflicts with current federal laws and policies. In a correspondence directed to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, which was read by the Speaker today, Tinubu expressed while he recognized the commendable goals of the proposed legislation, numerous provisions within the bills were at odds with established laws and policies of the federal government. The President spokesperson noted that the bill included clauses concerning funding mechanisms for agencies under the National Assembly, taxation of national entities, public service remuneration, as well as age and years of service, which he indicated could set a perilous and unstable precedent. He also said that cautioned that passing the bill into law in its present form would not only conflict with existing governance framework, but also undermine the public interest. As a result, President Tinubu officially notified the House that he would not provide presidential approval for the legislation and encouraged lawmakers to reconsider and address the highlighted concerns. Now to the political scene, the top leaders of the People's Democratic Party are in a closed-door meeting with the Independent National Electoral Commission at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. Reports indicate that the meeting, which is currently holding today, follows INEC's recent rejection of the party's notification for the upcoming National Executive Committee meeting. While the meeting takes place amid rising internal tensions within the People's Democratic Party over party leadership and compliance with electoral guidelines, with both parties seeking clarity on the status of the party's internal processes. INEC had earlier dismissed the PDP's notification for its 100th National Executive Council meeting, citing failure to comply with existing rules and procedural guidelines. According to the electoral body, the letter submitted by the PDP did not meet statutory requirements, prompting a halt to the recognition of the planned meeting. Though details of the discussions remains undisclosed, the meeting focuses on issues related to internal party processes, upcoming elections, and the status of the party's leadership structure. The high-stakes meeting at INEC headquarters was attended by several party chieftains and electoral officials. Among those present were the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Umar Damagum, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, PDP governors, and other senior officials of the Electoral Commission. In the same vein, the chairman of INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, has called upon the People's Democratic Party to resolve the ambiguity surrounding its national secretary position. Yakubu made this appeal during a private meeting with the National Working Committee and party stakeholders today in Abuja. Yakubu said that the main opposition party had sought to engage with the commission to address its leadership crisis. Well, not long ago, INEC welcomed visitors from the Labour Party with a similar request. Earlier in the meeting with INEC, the acting national chairman of the PDP, Ilya Umar Damagan, Stomi, and other aides of the former president. Omokri made the disclosure during a chat on a particular podcast, negating a comment made by one of the anchors that he gained more public prominence as a spokesperson for former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Speaking on Omokri's submission, Metu said there is absolutely no controversy over the recommendation and subsequently the announcement of Shegun as Waziri's spokesperson. Meanwhile, a political firestorm has ignited following an interview by former Kaduna State Governor Nasul Arafi on a Monitor television program, excerpts of which were shared by almost media. According to Arafi, he said, and I quote, "I brought Tinubu to power. I should remove him now," which is said to be signaling a dramatic...
No, they're not. Their prescription is... Definitely. No, those who took the decision maybe had information I don't have. Agents, of course, to be done by governors of the Southeast. They are the elected leaders of the place. The elected leaders of the place are living on each other. And I can tell you they're not terrorists. Their people are passed on the road and everything every day. In fact, I can tell you in number they're civil because I meet them and I live with them. And I usually see people gathering and all that. And not one day did I feel a sense of threat or molestation or anything from them, even when they gather.
All right, this particular altercation created panic and tagged with the NSAS protest in 2020 based on this remark made where they termed the NSAS protest as an IPOB protest, literally, based on this particular statement that went viral. This was placed contrary on Bayo Onanuga's tweet where he tried to allege that Peter Obi was an IPOB apologist. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's recent remarks identifying a Belarusian businessman as his former classmate at Chicago State University has sparked renewed controversy over the authenticity of his academic history. VP News gathered that the opposition has now questioned both the identity of the man and the credibility of the president's long contested records. While speaking on Monday at the launch of the Renewed Hope Agriculture Mechanization Program in Abuja, President Tinubu made a surprising reference to a man seated in the audience. However, the comment has since snowballed into a major political flashpoint. Investigation by online users and political commentators quickly linked Alex College Lagos or Government College Ibadan or Chicago State University the way other leaders do with ease and pride. Mr. President, your oath of office binds you not just to protect our nation, but to honor its truth. You're currently listening to the World News right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We took a very short break. When we return, we'll head into a news analysis segment where I'll be joined via the telephone with an analyst who will actually give us more insight into some of the stories read out on the World News at 6. Please do kindly stay with us. One of the countries, he was also part of an arms dealer scheme and a lot of nefarious attributes to his personality and history, which obviously has brought the question, why will the president always have contentious personalities surrounding him, and why is still this a matter of contention concerning his certification, his educational history, and the kind of persons he mingles with always have some kind of background that doesn't seem clean? What would you have to say to this?
Esther, it baffles me seriously. It baffles me. You know, when I was talking yesterday, I thought that the matter had ended. Until today, when things started happening. Why does this man want to involve himself in anything that is not clean, anything that is not decent? To make matters worse, nobody asks him about the man. Nobody asks him for evidence or whatever. You know, he lied before. He's looking for another lie to cover the lie he told before. Thereby complicating issues. In fact, there is even something that somebody said the man said.
This was where the digging went on. Right now, Nigerians have decided to become investigators. They no longer trust the traditional means of investigating issues like this. And so they went on to dig on the history of the man, the school he attended, the courses he went through, and the year he actually attended the school where the disparity now came from. And they were wondering, what school is that? That's what, for example, Atiku Abubakar put on his X account. He said, why do you claim to have presented a certificate from Government College Lagos to gain entry into Richard Daley College in 1973? No classmate from that institution has ever spoken or sharing a desk with you. All right. And they also asked, if your school was founded in 1972 and you could not issue a certificate dated 1970 unless you were a lone prophet of a school not yet established, that is a school not yet in operation. So because of this, they're now questioning who this Alex Zingman is. What is his connection to the president? Why was the need for the president to announce that, okay, we were college mates? And the questions arose, what happened in 2023 with Alex not presenting himself when there were questions as to which of the students actually went to the same school with the president?
To make matters worse, do you know that Tinubu have indicted himself once again? Because when he was talking about this Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, he came out and beat each other. Yes, the Chagori brothers we are friends. That means you are using your friends to do our business, which is contrary to the principles of Procurement Act. You are not supposed to do that. As long as your friends are involved, stay away. They should stay away. Mr. Tinubu, stop embarrassing yourself. You are not doing right. Seriously. Just because Nigeria has allowed themselves to be bamboozled by you, you think that everything will be free for you. You can say and do what you like. The main fact that these people are your friends, they are not supposed to do our business. If it is your own private business, no problem. You cannot use yourself because there will be conflict of interest here. That's what causes his job, his job. Now, Tinubu has done it separately and nobody is talking extra. You are Your friends are not supposed to be involved in our business. They can do your own private business. It doesn't concern us. Don't use them for our...
Of the day has literally not said anything about it for now. They have attributed the escalation or the increment in premium motor spirit to the what you just call it, the Middle Eastern war between Israel, Iran, and obviously the United States too, part of it. And beyond that as well, Nigerians are trying to modify themselves with the current situation on ground. Obviously, when fuel price increases, it will also affect food items. But in that particular vein, we did not hear or see Bayo Onanuga tweet anything in relation to that. So about 7 or 8 hours ago, Bayo Onanuga tweeted a particular video of Peter Obi being in an interview with a presenter on one of the most watched television stations, and the question about IPOB was asked. I think that was when Nigeria was celebrating her 57 years birthday, that is independence. That was when Peter Obi was in that interview. That was particularly the date. And in that interview, the presenter asked him that, okay, what do you think about IPOB, And then he says that he doesn't like the fact that they proscribe the group. So people can agitate, but proscribing them as a terrorist organization, he doesn't see them as a terrorist organization. Now, the reason why this came up is because they feel most times when issues go on in the Southeast and they ascribe to IPOB, Peter Obi doesn't say anything in relation to that. And obviously, they put Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast during the NSAS period where he made some utterances that were very volatile, which made some certain persons ascribe NSAS to an IPOB situation because of the comments that circulated at that time and what was said. Now, that's not the only thing. Nnamdi Kanu too has given Peter Obi a couple of derogatory names at the time. In fact, they were so derogatory, it was unimaginable where that came from. So if the leader of IPOB actually called Peter Obi derogatory names, and obviously the administration of the day is saying he has never for once called them out whenever any ill situation occurs that involves them, they called him a terrorist apologist. How would you describe this entire scenario? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I am very disappointed.
Okay.
You see, when these people fly this narrative, this wicked and crooked narrative, some gullible Nigerians will buy it.
That is why we're clarifying issues here.
Hold on, I'm coming. Was it not in this country that Buhari opened his mouth and tell us that an attack on Boko Haram is an attack on the north?
Okay.
Did they stop him from becoming the president? Didn't Nigeria vote him in with all he said? We are not talking of monkey and baboon who soak in their own blood. From the same Buhari, did they stop Nigerians from voting for him? Why is it that Bayo Onanuga has not made reference to those who brought terrorists into this country? They are calling Peter Obi. Why is it that nobody, I keep saying this in every time I'm in that studio. It's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. The real people that are causing problems, nobody knows that nobody's talking about them. Did the people bring terrorism into this country? Esther, please answer me. You see this Bayo Onanuga. I am so disappointed in him. Even his own august wife was threatened. That did not talk. That a man was threatening Tinubu's wife that she should be killed. Bayo Onanuga up to today, he has not answered that man. He did not reply. Esther, what does that tell you for God's sake? Can't you see that this Bayo Onanuga is a coward? A coward. He cannot call out to those who are making trouble in Nigeria. It is always just to Peter Obi. How do you relate with all this nonsense for God's sake? If anybody and they did not, do Buhari put his back and talk? Mention one prominent leader that have said anything in the north concerning what went on in Benue and Plateau. No, answer me now. What kind of thing is this?
Okay, so the question is why would Bayo decide to choose this particular period for such an agenda when, like you have rightly said, that we have a couple of issues that are not yet resolved, especially with his principles system of governance? So is this part of all the campaign of calumny that we've been seeing currently? Is it obviously federal government sponsored? If the spokesperson of the president is also involved in all of these derogatory comments rather than having to talk about national issues?
Yes, they want to run Peter Obi down, but they will not succeed. What I'm saying is
it cannot be misunderstood, sir, because it's in the public glare what he said about Alex Zingman. It cannot be misunderstood.
How the things he said, did you see how they parried it, how they watered it down? Did you see how they watered it down to defend Tinubu? No, look at it now. They are looking for what to say to counter it.
Barrister, just very recently, Reno Mokran was on a podcast and he said quite a lot of things. He made mention of the fact that he was the one who packaged Peter Obi. He said that he is not Peter Obi's friend. We will be looking into that during the evening rush, a bit of that conversation that he had, where he talked about the fact that Peter Obi even coming into politics and being recommended for Atiku Abubakar in 2019 was because Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, former president, wanted
for lack of knowledge. Have you not noticed that any time Tinubu run into a problem, his henchmen will go to land to divert our attention? Can't you see what is going on now? All this thing you are saying now, how does he connect with the lie Tinubu told us yesterday? Tell me, is it not to divert your attention from the real issue? Look at it now. Can't you get it? All this is of what relevance is all this nonsense. And then my mockery is saying of relevance. He hired this one of mockery that is speaking from both sides. Why is everybody listening to him, Esther? This is a diversionary now. You packet Peter. So were you the one that ran Anambra with Peter Obi? Were you the one, Reno Mokere? Were you the one that ran Anambra with Peter Obi? Tell me. The credibility Peter Obi has today, is it not because of what he did in Anambra? Any other thing? Can you just imagine? They left all those things that Peter Obi did in Anambra, they left it. They are just watching out and looking out where Peter Obi went to, with the person he talked to, the way he was walking. Is people like making this look worse? We are saying something here, you are making it look like we are joking. Is it not the character that behave in this manner? Okay, why is he insulting Peter Obi all the time? Why is he insulting Peter Obi? Peter Obi have not done 1/4 of what this northern leader have done to Tinubu. What they have said openly. Yet, Bayo Onanuga did not reply anything, especially Atiku. And you are telling me it's not cowardice. No, tell me. What kind of rubbish is this? Peter Obi should go and look for a media person who can always reply these people. Tell them who they are, what they are. It's important because if they control, it's this propaganda they used to enter government in 2015. When they told Nigeria all manner of things about Jonathan, and nobody was replying them.
Thank you.
Very, very wrong job.
Thank you, Barrister.
Let him face the North. Let him face the North. If he has the boss, let him face the Northern people.
Thank you very much, Barrister Darlington. I sincerely do appreciate your intellectual input on the world news at 6. Just before we go in stories outside the shores of Nigeria, U.S. President Donald Trump has started Israel and Iran